991 Foxtrot. Go Foxtrot Romeo is west of Beach Johnson.
Deleted.
Change Andrewsville radio 130, decimal 555. Go Foxtrot Romeo, just Cook 7000, bye bye.
You may have some questions. Is that me flying the plane and playing an online multiplayer game? Yes. I was very surprised to have a signal up there. Just about had some 4G. What game am I playing? You can most likely guess from the title of the video. For this flight, the original plan was to fly a southerly route from Southend-on-Sea to Canterbury. This route would take us over the Thames coastal forts. These series of forts were used to deter the Luftwaffe from flying up the Thames estuary. Nothing quite says like you're not welcome like a series of 3.7-inch AA guns. These forts are unique and are a rare sight. Sadly, I couldn't fly the route that I wanted as danger areas were active.
I'm paying attention to the danger zones this time.
November at time 1150, runway in use 23.
These are the danger
Airfield
zones. I want to go through one of them.
level 70.
Why are they
Danger
danger
areas
zones?
Delta 138 and 138 Alpha active.
What's dangerous about them?
No
Surface
clue.
wind 290 degrees 9 knots. Airfield information. Transition level 70. Danger areas Delta 138 and 138 Alpha active.
138.
Surface wind
138 Alpha.
290 degrees 9 knots. Bearing between
active.
26.
Flying around these danger zones may have put me out of gliding range of land. I don't know about you guys, but having engine failure causing me to ditch into the sea doesn't seem like a fun idea.
We're not going to be able to fly over the sea today. Those danger zones means we have to go out too far, and that's something I don't want to do. The cloud base is at 300 feet. Visibility is okay, it's 10 kilometers, but 3,000 feet is a bit too low for my liking.
Right.
Because flying through the clouds, while it is scattered, which is good, nah. So we're just going to say hello to Clacton-on-Sea, do a loop and come back.
Speaking of the sea, this is a good time to lead into our sponsor for today's video, World of Warships Blitz. The reason I was sponsored for this video is that they're adding new German destroyers to the game. Install World of Warships Blitz now, it's available on the App Store and Google Play. Use my link in the description below, reach level 3 and get a free ship. The German destroyer G101. Enjoy your new German destroyer and yeet those torpedoes like they're free candy, because with the reload time, they might as well be. This is actually the first wargaming game I've ever played. I haven't even tried out that other ship game that they make, which what's the name of that? Doesn't matter. I've been dicking around in World of Warships Blitz for a while now. On the bus, on the tube, the overground sections, on the toilet, and yes, even my plane. There are 4 types of ships in the game. Small ships, medium ships, thick boys, and snipers. I will get to that soon though. What I recommend as soon as possible is to use your free name change to change your name to Quarters. This makes the game feel much more personal.
General Quarters. General Quarters. General Quarters.
As a PC gamer, just wanted to tell you, go right into those settings and make sure you enable 60 FPS. Feels a lot nicer that way. One of my favourite ships in the game is Prince Eugen. In real life, Prince Eugen was nuked, not figuratively, in the sense that you nuke someone with the PE-8 in War Thunder, I mean literally. The Prince Eugen, for those of you that don't know, was a German heavy cruiser. The US received the vessel as a war prize, but didn't want to continue its operation as it was already an old geezer. So it was used in not 1, but 2 nuke tests. After the second test, the damaged and irradiated husk was decommissioned. A few months later, she sank. There's some lovely pictures of the hull just poking out above the waterline. In the game, you can change your character portrait, fairly simple stuff. You have male, female, league, seasonal and special portraits. Then, there's collaboration. You got all these anime waifus here from Azure Lane. All of them forts! Alexander Ovechkin is the only waifu you need to care and protect. That is a smile that needs to be protected. Alright, let's do a rundown of the 4 types of ships in the game. Destroyers. It's not a question if you're gonna die, it's an occupational hazard. It's a question of how many ships can you take out before you die. The destroyers are just oversized speedboats. Their strengths are speed and torpedoes. The main guns might as well be firing party invitations to my 14th birthday party because nobody's gonna come, aka nothing will happen. The term nut and go has never been more relevant in a video game. Get as close as possible to the enemy warship and then yeet all the torpedoes in their direction. On top of the ludicrous top speed that will make those sweaty wide boy battleships sad, some destroyers even have a turbo mode, perfect for some drive-by action. It's fun running rings around battleships and cruisers. Being small also makes it easier to dodge attacks. But don't get too close to battleships as they do have secondary guns and those guns turn quite fast, and they'll turn your heap of junk boat into a Swiss cheese in no time.
Good job! Hello!
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
Cruisers. These ships are my personal favourites. They take the best from both the destroyers and the battleships. They have good guns that shows who's boss when you duke it out with destroyers, and versus other cruisers and battleships, they deal decent damage. If a destroyer gets too close, there's some room to maneuver, and you can still dodge torpedoes. This is the best bit about cruisers, is that they get torpedoes too, so you can also engage battleships. You get the best of both worlds. Feel free to swat away hordes of destroyers while taking on the heavier ships with the main guns and torps. Battleships. The gun caliber is about as wide as the armor belt around this ship. Battleships have the heaviest guns and they pack the biggest punch. They can fire the furthest and have the most amount of hit points. Their biggest weakness is that they're about as maneuverable as a free-wheeled shopping cart. That's fully loaded up with sandbags. And there's an angry cat. The biggest pain in the ass to deal with is destroyers and torpedo bombers dropping torpedoes on your broadsides. And when I say broadsides, we're talking extra thick broadsides. At that point, you can't dodge. You just gotta grit your teeth and bite the bullet.
Back at it again at Krispy Kreme.
Although, the best bit about being a battleship is that you just get to delete destroyers with a salvo of your main guns.
You're gonna die, you little bastards!
It's quite fun to play as the Yamato because you get to be in charge of such a big historical ship and trust no one, not even yourself. Carriers. What are carriers? They carry planes, and that's all they will ever carry because I've never seen one be useful. All a carrier player needs to do is sit back as far as possible from the front. And that's about it, launch your planes. The incentive to be near the front is the time it takes for your planes to sortie. Even being 5 seconds closer to the front would save 10 seconds on a sortie. In my view, players that main carrier are your hand soaps and window makers, those shiny dot people in Battlefield games, and those try-hard gas players on Aeroplane. There are 3 different air groups: dive, torpedo and fighter. Dive bombers are just a guaranteed hit, smallish damage and a good chance to start fires. Torpedo bombers, this is a bit more skill based. If you can land a solid hit, you can easily end the ship's career. Fighters can shoot down other flying things. If you want to main carrier because you're a sweaty tryhard that doesn't want to see action, then I'm going to recommend that you play on tablet, as while your squad mates who are actually carrying your dead weight and are doing the fighting, you're playing StarCraft 2, so you're going to need that extra room. The smaller carriers only have 2 to 3 air groups, whereas the floating airfields at top rank, they get around 6 air groups, so it can get pretty hectic managing that on a phone. That's my rundown of World of Warships Blitz. If you guys like what you see, then there's a link in the description for you to download and play for free. Thank you for watching.
7000 Golf Bravo Charlie, thanks sir, goodbye. Golf Romeo Oscar Whiskey Sierra Farnborough, how far east are you tracking?
Golf Romeo Oscar Whiskey Sierra. I was planning on just flying over Clacton on sea and then turning back round to Elstree. Do you have coverage that far?
No, you need to be south end, so Golf Whiskey Sierra, remain outside controlled airspace, Squawk 7000, QSY south end please, bye bye.
Squawk 7000, call south end, bye. That's basically his language is saying get the fuck off my frequency.
Yeah, figured.
Like, comment and subscribe, or I'll break your f***ing legs.